Good morning again, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of our professional development workshop. Today, we're going to be looking at creating interactive slides using Nearpod. So let's just look at the objectives that we hope to accomplish before we get into the actual tutorial. So at the end of this session, you should be able to identify the features of Nearpod. You should be able to create your own interactive slides as well as adequately use the different tools that are in Nearpod to create your own slides. And lastly, work cooperatively in groups. All right, so let's just look at some of the general features of Nearpod. And it's an excellent tool that you can use to keep your students engaged online. So you're able to write your lesson plans, you're able to carry out assessments, whether they're live assessments, self-assessments, or they're ongoing. You have the ability to create games. It has the modeling feature, which allows the teacher to draw or share the whiteboard. It fosters collaboration, as there's a built-in tool similar to Padlet that students can use to work together. There is a resource center that teachers can use to get pre-made resource material or content from other educators across the globe. Lastly, you have a virtual reality tool embedded within Nearpod that will allow your students to go on virtual tours as well as utilize virtual images. So it's a very good tool. It's pretty exciting to use and it keeps your students engaged. All right, so let's just look at some samples of some of the features within Nearpod. All right, I know this is a little bit blurry, but you'll get the full picture once we actually start to explore what inside of Nearpod looks like. So this is actually showing the whiteboard. So this is a draw it feature that is in Nearpod. So the teacher can assign different activities for the students and they're able to draw on their individual whiteboard. Once the students are interacting with the whiteboard, now the teacher's view would be this, just like what you're seeing here. So this is a teacher's view of that particular activity. So you're able to see, as the educator, each student's whiteboard. And so you're able to tell who is participating and who is not. So it's a very good feature to really monitor what your students are doing. All right, so let's move on to the next feature, or to the next image rather. So this is an example of what the collaboration board looks like. So the students will be able to just type their responses. They're able to add pictures and make notes on whatever pictures they would have uploaded. So it's a good tool for the students to use, to work together, to foster collaboration. All right, so now that we have a general feel of what Nearpod is and what it looks like, we are now going to be able to just go in now and just look at it in real time so that you have a better understanding of the setup and of the different tools that are also there. Before I do that though, you can follow the STEM Center on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Just type in STEM Center, Cross Keys High School, STEM Center, CKHS, STEM Center, and you will be able to find us on social media. All right, so now that we understand the objectives and everything for today, we're going to just jump right into Nearpod so that you can see what it looks like. All right, so this is what inside of Nearpod looks like. So I'm just going to show you one of the lessons that I have created so that you can get a general feel of how it will look once you're finished creating yours. All right, so you have three different options here. You can allow your students to join live via the Zoom platform, or you can just do a live participation and probably link it with another video conferencing tool such as Meet, or you can allow your students to basically monitor their own work at their own pace. So that's what the student pace means. So you as a facilitator is not there live, but the students, they're able to monitor how fast they would have gone through that lesson. So I'm just going to click live participation. All right, so the first thing that you will see or that will pop up is the code for the class. And this is what you would give to your students in order for them to get access to the particular lesson that you are going to be teaching. You can share the code and the students will be able to just log in using the Nearpod web browser, or they can utilize the app, download the app. You can share it via a link or email if you're using Google Classroom as your platform, you're able to share it there as well. And these are the other options that you have available. So once you would have gone through and shared either the link or the code, the students will be able to just get access to your lesson, right? So this is actually an integrated science lesson for a third form class. So as soon as your students join, this tab here with the icon, the people's icon, will show the name of the students. As you can see, nobody has signed up as yet. So there you wouldn't see any names here. But once the students join, their names will pop up here. All right, so I'm just going to go through the slides. So here you have access to a whiteboard. For every single slide that you created, you as a facilitator will have an access to the whiteboard. So if you want to explain something, you're able to just go ahead and do that. Let me just go through some of the features of the whiteboard for the teacher and the students, because the student's whiteboard would have the same features. So this pen here gives you different colors, or it provides you with a palette with different colors, and you can use these to draw on the whiteboard. This is the highlighter. So if you want to highlight something, you can use this one. This will generate a text box. So if you want to go ahead and text whatever it is you're drawing, then you use the text box. And then of course you have the option to move it to where you want it to be. You can copy what you just wrote, or you can delete it. And this is the eraser. So you can go ahead and erase, or you can just press the undo button, and it will remove. It would also clear the board. You can use it to clear the board. All right, so that's the whiteboard feature. So I'm just going to click through the slides so you can have a general feel of what it looks like once you've created a lesson. So this is what the link looks like when you embed links into Nearpod. This is what the page will look like. You have the option to time your activity. So this is a draw activity that I did for my students. So they are able to go ahead and follow the instruction and then draw on their whiteboard. And of course, I have the option of making it a timed event. So once the timer ends, or once the allotted time that they have runs out, then they won't be able to make any more markings on the whiteboard. All right, so this feature that Nearpod has is a very good feature. So what I have here is a video. So I shared a YouTube link that I want my students to be able to view. So for some video conferencing tool, once you share a YouTube video, it's sometimes difficult for the students to hear the audio. They might be able to see, but not necessarily hear. With Nearpod, it gives you the option of allowing the teacher to play from the teacher's device. So the students will see exactly what's happening on your screen. So when you stop the video, it will stop on their screen automatically. Which, for example, with Google Meets, that's how it works when you share screen, when you're in share screen mode. With Nearpod, you can select any one of these features. The all devices feature allows the facilitator, once the facilitator clicks all devices, the students will be able to play the device on their, play the video on their device, and they can control the pace at which the video flows. So if they want to stop the video and take notes, then it will facilitate that, right? So this is just what it would look like if you're playing it.
Blood, 10 pints of life force, coursing through thousands of miles of arteries, veins, and capillaries.
All right. Moving to the next slide. So this is also a linked slide. So I'm going to just move past it. Now, if you want to ask the students question, you have a poll feature there. So if you just want general feedback, if you want to check in on your students to see if they're understanding, if they're following you, then you can use the poll feature, and it gives you the list of the students and their responses. So if it's a case where you need to check your students' knowledge here, you're able to do that, and you're able to see the responses and also get the percentage of whichever responses the students would have given. So it will help you to make a decision whether you need to either go over the content or move on. All right, so this is another link to another page, and it has content on there, so notes on there. So I'm not going to open that just now, but just for you to just see the general overview of what it looks like. So this is the actual page that the link was for. So notes is on that page. So here again, I did another poll question for that particular, for the previous slide, to assess whether or not my students would have understood the content that they would have just read. And this feature here works great for your evaluation because it will give you a percentage of, the students who understand and the ones that don't, and what you would put in place to ensure that they understand, that sort of thing. So this feature helps you out with your evaluation. All right, so this is another linked feature. Here for this particular activity, I wanted my students to do a practical activity using the OLAB simulator. So I just embed it right into Nearpod. Once they click on it, it will take them directly to the page, and they're able to carry out this practical activity here. All right, the collaboration board. I love this feature. It's similar to Padlet, and if you're not using the paid version of a Padlet, you have a limited amount of Padlets that you can use. When you're using Nearpod, there's no limit. And like I said before, everything is embedded into one lesson. The lesson is just at one place. So it's not like you're using, for example, Google Classroom, and then you're sending your students a Padlet. You're sending them there, you're sending them here, everything is in one. So you use a slide deck when you're preparing Nearpod, and everything is one place. So it's friendly as it relates to the 5E and how the 5E is formatted. Nearpod facilitate that type of structure. Of course, with the collaboration board, you have the option as the facilitator to approve what the students post. So you're able to moderate before the students post. So if they're posting anything that is not related to the content, etc., you are able to not approve it, and so they're not able to post. So you have the option of moderating or not. And this is what the collaboration board looks like. You can go in and change the background if you want. Once the students have written on the collaboration board, you're able to share it. The students can go ahead and use images or text, and the teacher, you can text as well and like whatever the students post. So if I want to text something, then I can do that. Then I can add an image to it. I can search the web for that image. And I can just choose one of these images, then click save, and then go ahead and post. So the students, once there's a post on the board, students can like each other's post. Teacher can like students' post just the same. All right, so this is another activity. This is actually a quiz. So Nearpod, like I said, it facilitates assessment. So this is a quiz that I did. So I put a timer on it so the students have a particular time frame to work within, and it gives me the scores, and it gives me a prompt as to which questions the students would have gotten incorrect. And then again, it works out the percentage and everything. So good for evaluation. And you are able to, as a facilitator, you're able to see what your students are doing live. It's similar to Google Forms. The only exception is that this is live. Once you choose a live lesson, you as a facilitator, you're able to see everything that's happening, the responses that the students are choosing, everything, you're able to just see it on your screen. Like I said, the teacher's view is different from the student's view. All right, so now that you understand the basic features of Nearpod and what it looks like, now let's get you signed up for Nearpod. First rule of thumb, once you're signing up for the first time, which means you don't have a pre-existing account with Nearpod, please ensure that you sign out of all accounts that you have on your laptop, right? So once you come here, and if you have multiple accounts, Gmail accounts or whichever accounts you have, you want to ensure that you click sign out. Ensure that you sign out of all accounts. Why? When you're trying to sync Nearpod using Google Slides, it sometimes is problematic once you're signed into multiple accounts. So to eliminate that from the jump, please ensure that you sign out of all accounts. Once you have signed out of all accounts, you're going to go back and sign into the particular account that you would like to add Nearpod to. So once you have done that, you have successfully signed into your Gmail or whichever account you're using. The next step now is to click on the waffle icon here, this icon with the dots, and scroll down to slides. So what I'll be doing is I'll be using Google Slides to access Nearpod and add it as an add-on. So first thing I'm going to do is to just click on a blank slide. Then waiting for the page to load up. I'm going to click off all of these things because I don't need them right now. I'm going to look for add-ons right here, click it, then get add-ons. click. So once you do that, Nearpod should appear here. If you're not seeing it, then you can type Nearpod here and then click search and it will populate. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the Nearpod icon. The next step now is to click on install. Click continue. You will see this prompt. So just click continue. Once you have done that, it's going to ask you to select the account that you're trying to sync with Nearpod. So I'm going to click the account and ensure that it's the one that you're signed in, you're signed in with. Next, I'm going to go down to the bottom of the page, scroll to the bottom and click allow. So you should be seeing this prompt here to say that Nearpod has been installed. So click done. And it shows you where you can access Nearpod. And you can just go ahead and click these off. So to check to see if you have successfully installed Nearpod, go back to add-ons and Nearpod should appear here. Then click open Nearpod. So this tab here should appear. So what this is doing now, it's connecting. So the next step now is to log in with the Gmail account or with the account that you just sync with or sync to Nearpod. So just click on open with Google because I'm using my Gmail. And then I'm going to search for that account. Click it. Then I'm going to agree to the terms and condition by clicking this tick to say that I'm over 13. Then click sign up. All right, so once you have successfully gone through all of those steps, the next one is to select how you're going to be using your Nearpod. So are you going to select teacher or student, etc.? So because I'm a teacher, I'm going to select teacher, then done. So once you have successfully done that, this should pop up. You can go ahead and click teacher resources. It should take you to Nearpod. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to click that off. So you can just click on those to see the different features. I'm going to click it off again and open Nearpod. All right, so once you would have done that, it's going to take you here. And so you're able to now try the gold feature, the gold feature, which is actually a premium feature. So if it's the first time you're joining up, you need to try and click. You need to click this because it will give you premium features for 30 days. So go ahead and click gold, get gold. And then it will take you inside of Nearpod. Of course, you can go ahead and take the tour. That's optional. All right, so now that I have successfully signed up for Nearpod, I'm going to close out of this and then I'm going to go back to, I'm going to click this off and go back to add-on so that I can get the Nearpod features now and click open Nearpod. So as the features, the different features are tools that you can use to make the slides in Google Slides interactive should pop up here. So these are the different features. So yeah, so now that you have successfully signed up for Nearpod, now I'm going to show you how to use these tools. All right, so yes. So for the first slide, I'm going to be clicking off these. So if you want to add something to your slide, right, from Google Slides, the slide deck that is available to you in Google Slide, you can go ahead. So if you want to create a title page, you are able to do that. So you can go ahead and add a background if you have a particular color that you're working with, or you can choose from images that you have available on your laptop. Or you can choose from Google Slides, from Google, from the Google search bar, whatever images you're looking for. Want something outdoors. So if you're using, once you're using the Google Slides feature, then you can go ahead and adjust those, add a title, your images, etc. If you're using a slide, if you're using the slide deck or the features from Nearpod, then Nearpod will automatically add those slides separate from your Google Slides. So it's not a case where you're adding the Nearpod features to a particular Google Slides, but they're independent. And I'm going to show you as I go along. So I'm just gonna choose something. All right, so I like that one. I'm gonna choose it as my background. And voila, that's what it's looking like. You can go ahead and give this a title. So I'm just gonna add a text box. So I'm just showing you how you would incorporate a regular slides into you, or you'd incorporate Nearpod with your Google Slides and how these features work. Just gonna give this a random title. All about nature. I think I might want to make this a little bit, a little bit bigger. Just that. Put this in the center. All right. So that's my slide, all about nature. You can go ahead, add your name, etc. So now that I have my general slide that I want to start everything off with, then I can go ahead now and decide on which one of these Nearpod features I want to use. So if I want to take my students, all right, so let me just go through the general tools that you have available, or some of them. If you want to add an audio slide where you're explaining to your students, okay, students, today we're going to be doing this or that, you go ahead and click the audio. And what that will allow you to do is use any recording feature, record the audio, or if you have it pre-recorded, you can just add it to that particular slide, right? So if you should click on audio, this is what you will see coming up, searching. So giving it a little time. And so it will allow you to upload your audio from your device or from Drive or from Cloud, depending on where you have the audio stored. If you want to add a collaboration board, you can go ahead and do that. So let's just start off with perhaps the virtual reality tool. So this is it. It's called a field trip. So you go ahead and select the virtual reality tool, which allows the students to go on field trips using virtual reality. Maybe I want something outdoors, for example. This is a particular type of forest. You can go ahead and click it, click done. And then that feature will be added to my slide. If for any reason I would like to go ahead and change the field trip that I selected, then I can click on edit this slide and it will allow me to choose something else. All right, so I just did that. And as you can see, Nearpod adds the slide independently, so no need to add an empty slide and then try to embed the Nearpod slide on it. That's not how it works. Once you select any one of these features, the Nearpod slide will be automatically added under your slide deck. What you can do though is to rearrange the order. And I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. So if I want to add a web content, I click on this icon, which allows me to add links. So if it's any particular website that you want to use, you can go ahead and add links. So if you want to add a YouTube video, for example, you'd have to get the link from YouTube first. That correlates with the topic or the content that you're teaching. And you want to go ahead and get the link from that particular video by clicking share, or you can just copy and paste it from here, or you can click it, take it from here. It depends on you. Copy. And then I can close this off because I don't need to use it anymore. Then I'm going to paste it here and then click save. All right, so if you want to add a game, Time to Climb, it's actually a game. It's a gaming feature that allows the students to compete with each other based on the content that you would have taught them. You can go ahead and select it. And of course, the different grade levels are there, different topics. You can go ahead and select one of these. And then, so this is the layout. And these are pre-made from the library that other teachers would have done. So if something there appeals to you, then you can go ahead and use those. Of course, the topics are there. So you can just click search and search from the library. And this is where you'd enter the question that you're asking them and then type. If you want to add images, you click here. And so they would be able to select the image as the answer. If it's a text, then you select text and then go ahead and put what the responses are and then select the correct answer by tapping here. Once you're finished, you can add more questions. If you're satisfied, you can click save. If you want to add a reference image, you can do that here and it will appear here where the question is. If you want to add a timer or make it a time event, you can click here and play around with the different time that you want to adjust it or select. All right, so I'm not actually going to be adding this game, so I'm just going to click cancel. I just wanted you to see what it looks like. If you want to go ahead and add a video, you can go ahead and do that. If it's a video from your device, you can go ahead and upload it. So that's what this feature is for. If it's something that you want to upload, you can go ahead and do that. Or you can also get it from the Nearpod Resource Center. And what this feature does is that it allows you to add questions it allows you to add questions to the video as well. So if you want to add questions to the video, then for the students to answer to, then you can do that. Once you select this feature, it will allow you to do that. So I'm just going to be going through like the major icons. If you want to do a poll, you just select poll. And maybe you can assess how your students are feeling for that particular day, if they understand, that sort of thing. So I'm going to do a sample here. Oopsie-doo. All right, so type the question, then I can put the response. Good. Okay. Can add another one. Bad. Let's just hope your students don't actually select that. And then I can click save. All right, so if I want to add simulations, this is the tool for it. So you can just go ahead and click it. Of course, these simulations are more geared towards the science or the core science subjects. So physics, chemistry, bio. I think math maybe. So yeah, math is there. So you just go ahead. If it's a subject within those fields, then this is a good resource tool to use, and it allows the students to carry out different simulations. And some of them are even lab practical activities that they can do. So you can search by a subject, topic, etc. If you want a 3D image, you select the 3D icon here and search for anything that basically is in line with what you're trying to do. So you have different topics, staff picks, amazing places. So if you remember at the first part of the video, I was showing you an image of the circulator system. This is where I got it from. All right, I'm not seeing anything here that has to do with like rainforests, etc. Environments, maybe I might find something here. No. Human body, microscopic. So you get the drift. I'm just gonna select something just for you. Maybe I want to select this one, just for you to see what it will look like once we're finished. If you want to go ahead and ask the students open-ended questions, you can. If you want to play matching pairs or memory game, you're able to do that. Fill in the blanks, draw it. So this is what you'd use if you want your students to draw a particular image. And it's not just limited to just drawing. You can actually embed a background image and possibly ask the students to label or circle specific areas on there. So you put the instructions here. If you're not using a background, you would have just written the instructions here and then click save, and that would have been fine. You can also explore other resource materials from the library that other teachers would have added. So I'm not going to be adding this feature, but at least you know where to go. So if you want a matching pair, the matching pair feature, then you're able to do that. Just select that particular icon and add pair, put your instruction there, add pair and save. And that would have been fine. Yes, so that's basically how Nearpod works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go save and go to Nearpod. So that's what you want to click. Once you're finished compiling your slide deck, you may save it and go to Nearpod. So as you can see here, that's the slide deck being generated. Of course, it's giving me this prompt. I'm going to click try again. And just allow these. Sometimes you get the prompt, sometimes you don't. All right, so now it's saving. An important thing to note that once your premium feature expires, you might have to upload or make your slides from the Nearpod website, because I don't think that feature once the silver feature that they're going to downgrade you to will allow you to actually use the add-on feature from Google Slides. So you possibly would have to sign into your Nearpod account, click create here, and it will allow you to create your lesson and the slide, and then you're able to add the slides like you did in Google Slides. So, but it's basically the same thing though. So it's pretty simple. All right, so now that the video is ready, I'm going to click on, I can click preview to see what it looks like, or I can click any one of these to see what it would look like live. So when you're ready to teach your lesson, you would select one of these based on what you want to accomplish. If you want a self-paced lesson, then you click on this. If it's a live lesson, then you can click on the first two. So I'm going to click on live. Of course, the code is going to be generated. That's the first thing that should pop up. So that is what you'd share to your students. Like I said before, if you want to present this in a Zoom meeting, then you can go ahead and select that. So this is basically giving me a tour. I don't need to see the tour because I already know what to do, but you guys can take the tour. So it will walk you through. All right, so this is my first slide that I did. And then you should be able to see the virtual reality field trip coming up. So you can watch it with your 3D goggles. So you can view using your 3D goggles. Just look, have a look around. You don't have, if you don't want to use the goggles, click escape on your laptop, and then you can just go ahead and view like this. It's a really great tool, and students respond positively to it because they're able to interact with the slide, which is the whole objective of using Nearpod. So the video would have been there, the poll question would have been there. This is the image that I added. So of course I can go ahead and play around with it. Right, so if you want to end the lesson, all you have to do is click on the arrow that's pointing down where Nearpod is and click end lesson. If you want the reports, based on what the students' answers are, etc., then you click there. But I want to end the lesson, so I'm going to click end lesson. Then I'm going to select yes. And that, in a nutshell, is the basics of Nearpod. There are other features, a lot of features that Nearpod offers, but I'm just going through the basics so that teachers who just want to just focus on creating those interactive slides, especially the beginners, have an idea as to how to navigate Nearpod. All right. So now you're ready to create your own Nearpod slides.